The Oakland Raiders. No, 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 no. It's the Las Vegas Raiders, or just the Raiders. Who the hell knows right now? We don't. That's the biggest problem for the Raiders this offseason. We think they're playing somewhere else, but we don't really know. And the NFL's like not even releasing LVR or OAK. They don't even know how to pronounce the Raiders, but we do know that we need to try and fix the Raiders. They had a pretty good offensive year under John Gruden his second season. Very nice job calling plays. There were questions about Derek Carr. I put this Derek Carr, even though he's under contract, has 3 years left on his deal. I'm a Derek Carr guy, but include him under the question marks. I think quarterback and wide receiver are an issue. I know he completed 70% of his passes, Breech. He had 4,000 passing yards, 21 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I don't care. He's a dink and dunk Charles check down, and I want somebody who can rev up the engine to go for Oakland. What about trading for Cam Newton? What about signing Andy Dalton? Grabbing Marcus Mariota? Sure, Mariota looks worse than Derek Carr. I'd rather have him. I don't care what anyone says. And wide receiver to me, Breech, also a big problem. Tyrell Williams, sort of a deep threat. I don't know if he's built to be the number one guy. Hunter Renfrow underneath. Zay Jones, former bust for the Bills. This is not exactly an exciting group, is it?
No, not at all. And Brinson, I don't know if it's say the opposite of what you mean, Day, but calling you a Derek Carr guy is literally the opposite of what I've heard you say all season. You are not a Derek Carr guy. And I think that is the biggest issue, the biggest thing the Raiders have to get figured out. Look, I know a lot of people in Raiders country are convinced that John Gruden, Derek Carr get along. That relationship's going to work out. He's going to play out his contract. But I don't think it's that definite. Hey, they have an out in this offseason where they could move on from Derek Carr, and John Gruden could bring in a hand-picked quarterback. We have seen him do that earlier in his coaching career. There is no one who is more erratic with quarterbacks, who wants somebody in there that he likes, than John Gruden. So if he were to make the decision to move on from Derek Carr, I don't think that would be completely shocking. I'm about 60-40 that I think they keep Carr, but he might move on. And again, you mentioned their other needs, but those will fall into place after John Gruden figures out for sure who his quarterback is.
Yeah, defensively, they have much bigger problems. I actually think Paul Guenther's a good defensive coordinator, knows your boy from Cincinnati, Breech, but he doesn't really have the pieces in place right now to make things work. Brinson Buckner fired for Rod Marinelli, brought in this offseason. Is there any way you could see this defense being good in 2020? And if not, where do they need to improve?
Yeah, I do think Paul Guenther is a good defensive coordinator. He did good with the Bengals, and he didn't have a ton to work with the Raiders last season, so I'm not really going to knock them. But, hey, look, they were top 10 against the run, so there were spots where they were good. They didn't force a lot of turnovers. But if they need to do anything, is they've got to get better at linebacker. Number one, yes, they have Vontaze Burfict, but they have no idea. There is no guarantee if that guy is going to be on the field for all 16 games in a season. He got suspended for 12 games in 2019. Who knows what will happen in 2020? We could see another head-to-head hit, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's gone. Tahir Whitehead hasn't been great at linebacker. So if I'm the Raiders, that is the position group I am looking to improve. Also, the second position group I'm looking at is probably in the secondary at cornerback. You have Daryl Worley is going to be a free agent. If you got to either think about bringing him back, and if you're not going to bring him back, you got to look for his replacement. So linebacker and cornerback is where the Raiders will be keeping their eye on this offseason, whether that is during free agency or in the draft.
Raiders dumped a bunch of players in recent years, Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper. They're still reaping the benefits of those trades, and they're going to have plenty of draft picks. Not as many as last year, but plenty of draft picks. To find out what they're going to do with those, let's throw it to our guy, Ryan Wilson.
There's no other way to put it. The Raiders had a pretty disappointing end of their season. They got off to a strong start, and we know John Gruden could be looking for a quarterback. Our guy Jason LaConfort has been writing about whether he's going to take Derek Carr with him to Las Vegas. But in the meantime, what do the Raiders need? The Raiders need, first and foremost, a wide receiver. Whoever the quarterback is, he's going to need someone to throw the ball to. Hunter Renfrow was a gem, day 3 pick as a rookie. We know about Darren Wallace having an off-the-wall season. Here's some guys that could possibly target with one of their 2 first-round picks at number 12 and number 19 currently. Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama, the best route runner in this draft class. He's not a burner, but you know who is? His teammate Henry Ruggs at Alabama. He'll run a 4.3 probably at the combine. There's some conversation. He might run faster than that. The Raiders also need help on defense. They found Max Crosby, the defensive end, another day 3 pick last year, but they need help on the back end. C.J. Henderson out of Florida is a long, athletic, strong cornerback, the type of guy who can shut down big-time NFL receivers. They also need help in the middle of that defense. Kenneth Murray, he could be an option there, perhaps at number 19. out of Oklahoma. Really good season, really athletic. There's some questions about his ability to cover, but that's only because he didn't do it a lot for the Sooners. He has the ability to do that at the next level, just getting him reps there. And finally, Julian Aquara out of Notre Dame. He suffered a lower leg injury that ended his season in November for his college campaign, but he is incredibly athletic, great first step, and someone you could pair with Cleve Farrell, their first-round pick last year, and the aforementioned Max Crosby, who had a fantastic rookie campaign as well.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.